stop using, then obviously we will forget.
The problematic of the
So,
especially command line is that regular
correct,
content.
correct.
Okay,
You
so that
correct.
is one of the major thing. So
Yep.
if you missed out maybe 1 month or 2 months, a little bit of the things also, the problem where you are getting, real-time issues. The subject is a different, real-time issues are somewhat a deviation will be there. Means, for example,
Mhm.
one LUN is not defect identified. Okay, let
Mhm.
it be users are not having the proper permission, not able to access the proper services, or any kind of issue, something that Samba services, NFS services. In general, I'm saying that the regular
Mhm.
issues with the client, these are the things will come up oftenly. Okay,
Mhm.
the times SMP services or network connectivity like a gateways, subnets, these type of the different issues you used to get it. Okay, generally, just I want to know that what exactly the requirement it is. Okay, let me share my screen. I have the some of the regular content. Okay, let me share what exactly
Yep.
the thing. Based, see, I
Okay.
used to do that going with a kind of the customization. For example, if the person is not having the anything knowledge about the any technology, we are going with
Mhm.
kind of the basic operating system, like an introduction of the things and all, what exactly the operating system, how the shells will be there, and the kernel mechanism, how we installation, okay, and performing the things and all. And the file system is one of the major core area, like a heart. So how you are dealing with LVMs, okay, and like a volume groups and the recoveries. If the server is stuck up into the boot level, what exactly the things you used to do that, okay, how to do the risk mode. Risk is a
Mhm.
kind of booting from the alternative disk. How you are going to perform it. Those kind of the number of activities we are going to touch upon here. Apart from the regular thing,
Mhm.
regular things will be like a copy, paste, creation, mkdir, ls, nothing but creation of the files, creation of the directories, creation of the things and all. That is a regular thing. But coming to the production side, we are more oftenly concentrating on production environment from the regular thing.
Mhm.
My way of explanation will be every topic, okay, I will treat like that. That is the end of the course. Okay, for example, whenever I'm dealing with a file system, I always compare with like a Windows file system. Okay, for example,
Mhm.
I will give the example. Usually, the general way of explanation to all the users also, since we are the by default Windows users, so we know that how the functionality will be there. For example, how to create a directory, how to create a file system, how to create a drive, how we can expand it, how
Mhm.
we can reduce it, and what are the pre and post measures we need to take care. What are the pre, because when you are dealing with any kind of the functionality of production environment, okay, backup is a very primary aspect. See, whatever we are done, it's a good. For example, it is not happen by luckily or not something time. In that time, at least recovering is a totally different. First of all, we need to get back to the old state is a primary. So why we need to take the backups? What are the things we need to take a backup? And what are the real-time issues we used to get it? For example, just I will show you the one of just I'm going with since you have little bit of knowledge, I'm going with one of the topic. Okay, I will show you how it will be. We will get the issues like extending of root file system. Okay, for example, so generally there is a way of methodology will be there. Every server, normal server under root file systems, how we are extending. What is a way of methodology? Okay, and so if you want to go with the extension of the things, so why these commands are we are using? Okay, what is the purpose of that? So what is a PV? What is a VZ? What is a LB? How we are creating? What is the purpose of that? And what is a XFS? Usually we will be having the Linux and Ubuntu. Multiple operate file systems will be there. Whether XFS, EXT, different type of the things. How we can take up and how we are increasing the file systems. that is also we are going to explain. Everything is a practical only. Okay, lab setup will be done, and we are going with a in practical knowledge. Each and everything we used to do that. Okay, and not only that one. For example, if you want to add a new disk and you want to extend it, how we are going to perform it? Simply, if you want to go to the basics of the file system, just I'm going to the file system. That is one of the major core area. If you're going with the fundamentals of, for example, Windows mechanism, let it be this is your hard disk. Your hard disk. This hard disk, generally at the time of execution of the operating system, what we used to do, we are creating into number of disks. For example, let it be this is a C drive, this is a D drive, this is a E drive. I created the disk. On top of that, when we are using the Windows operating system, especially this is into the Windows environment, Windows environment. So apart from that, we are not performing anything, nothing but end user can able to access that. This is the end user. Let it be end user can able to access the things directly, particular directories. There is no kind of interaction will be there, nothing but here if you coming to the little bit of the basics, Windows are using like a fat like a NTFS. Okay, some of the file system by default, and here we are not the decision makers, and we are not the decision makers what exactly your operating system will support, everything will be coming to the picture. Okay, so here what is our responsibility from raw disk to this is we are calling as a another way raw disk. This raw disk I am creating into like a human accessible disk. Okay, this is called soft disk, or we are calling as normal human accessible disk. I call it as normal disk. Human accessible means you can able to create, you can able to delete, you can able to access everything, you can able to perform it. So this is the general way of performing into the Windows. So what are the major things if we are performing same thing into the Unix environment? Let it be this is your hard disk. Again, this is we are calling as block device also. Block device, hard disk, or hard disk, whatever may be. From here, the way of execution will be we are creating physical volumes. Nothing but here I segregated my hard disk into let it be 20 GB. Okay, this is 30 GB. This is 40 GB. I created the three partitions. So the general way of in Unix means this is we are calling as physical volumes, PVs. PVs is a nothing but it is a kind of directories. So here one portion we can combine. On top of that we are creating the volume groups. What is a volume group? Volume group 1, volume group 2. So the requirement is that the architecture wise every volume group will be clubbed with one physical volume at least. Means for example this is a part of this, and coming to here this 2 is a part of this. So I will tell you the architecture, then we can go with a little bit of discussion. On top of that I am creating the LVM. LVM is a LVM2. Okay, on top of that we are creating the file system mkfs dot ext we have, and xfs also we have. mkfs dot ext or xfs. FS. So on top of that, again we are doing the mounting. So this once the server is mounted, user can able to mount access the particular device. So why we are doing this many steps? First of all, we'll go into the deeper. This is we are calling as file system level, FS. This is we are calling as LVM level. This is we are calling as volume groups. So if you go into the little bit of understanding why I need to create this many things. The thing is that, for example, if you go into the Windows mechanism, my entire hard disk I created into three parts. For example, I am running the one web application, one fine Saturday. Due to the some of the reason, let it be the capacity of this one is not enough. Means since the capacity is exceeded, my application is not running. So that is exactly the issue. But the one of the thing is that in Windows, if we have the space means usually we'll go for the extending of things. If all are belongs to the same hard disk means if something is able to shareable, we'll go for the extend. But the problem here is that most of the times we may need for the reboot. Reboot is the one of the major challenging. Second thing is that when you are going for the extending of the things also, the chances are very less. Maybe it will work or may not. So because that is a totally depend upon your infrastructure and how the other disks are part of the same group or different group. That is also one of the things. So this is one of the major flaw into the usually people will face into the Windows. How this point is overcome? Because you can see that here simply on top of operating system you created the three disk. That's it. Directly user can access, user can perform the things. But coming to here, you are not performing not only this one, you are performing something different. What is a volume group? What is LVM? What is a file system? Here the agenda is that the entire your physical disk, maybe you can use the some portion or entire portion. You created into number of partitions. Let it be based on your need 20, 30, 40, whatever may be. So every physical machine is connected with the volume group. On top of volume group, okay, I am creating the LVM. For example, let it be this physical machine LVM capacity is 10 GB. Okay, and right now your volume group capacity also 20 GB because your PB capacity is 20. On 20, you used already one LVM, means there is a one more 10 GB of space is there. For example, let it be same scenario. One fine Saturday, user is asking performing some kind of deployment. On a sudden, the file system hiccups came. You want to expand it. In the time, what we will do? Since you are already holding of the amount, okay, the amount of the space, just you are extending on fly. On fly means no need of downtime. With VG extend one command itself, you can extend your operating system automatically. It will be reflecting into the your file system level. There is no need of downtime. So that is one of the beauty here. For example, just think of that. You are only having the 20 GB. Okay. The requirement is that if you want to create one more LV with a capacity of 70 GB, let it be here. Otherwise another scenario, here 10 GB is you want to extend, right? For example, user is looking for 30 GB need to extend, but right now you don't have the capacity of 30 GB because all the other things are attached to the some other volume group. So this is we are calling as a scenario 2, means the simple way. For example, you don't have the money. What is the next way you used to go with? You don't have the liquid amount. You are going to borrow the amount from the by using the credit card or your friends for the time being, maybe till you will get a space. Means you are going to borrow the space from the storage team. Here the storage team is nothing but probably your SAN team, VMware team, whoever it may be, as per the client need. I need the 30 GB. The 30 GB I'm going to collect it from the storage team. Usually we are raising the request to them. We are creating the storage disk. Once it is created, automatically it is attached to the PV. Okay, once PV attached, VZ level we are attaching. From there we are extending the LV. This is the scenario too. And here also we don't need the downtime. We can perform it directly. That is one of the major beauty into the operating system side. Okay, so you understand anything basically?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Understood.
Means in production environment how you will get issues. In production environment your mount point is not mounting. Probably your mount point is not mounting means probably what exactly the issue, it is not a part of slash etc fs tab. Fs tab it is not a part of that, probably that is one of the thing. Or whatever the storage device is there, it is not properly mounted, or your storage team having the issue, that is also one of the issue. Second thing is that, another thing is that usually you want to extend the file system, that is also there. We can go with what exactly the issue, how we are extending, like we are checking the VD level space extending, that is also we used to do it. And the third one is that, let it be this file system is corrupted, how you are going to repair it, that is also we are going to work it upon. Okay, and another thing is that you want to copy the data from the one volume to other volume, or one volume to other volume, how we need to do it, that is we are calling as PV move, migration of volume groups, that is also we used to discuss. Okay, and not only that one, the entire architecture level we are going into the step by step process. For example, block level devices, for example you are using for the temporarily, I don't want using for the permanent basis. Okay, like non LVM root file system, we have two types of the mechanism. One is LVM based, one is that non LVM based. Red Hat and Ubuntu entire Unix architecture supporting only LVM based. The concept of the LVM is nothing but you can dynamically expand, reduce, increase the space. That is the beauty of the LVM. Non-root LVM means nothing but, for example, you are using for the temporary purpose. For example, you are using your pen drive, you are using your ISO device. That is expectation is that you don't want to be used for the long time. You are using for the some time being. In that time, I don't want to go with a mechanism. That time directly we are creating the file systems, like creating the same file system, and we are creating the updating into the file system, nothing but you are not going with the PV VZ and means, for example, same raw disk, just we are creating the PV, on top of that you are creating the file system like using the MKFS. These two steps are we are skipping, that is the way we used to do it. So this is a way about how we are performing into the only into the volume group level or file system level. This is a one way. Okay, second thing is that, let me go to the another scenario. Okay, for example, let it be your uh, web servers also will be there. Okay, so usually that is one of the major issues. Usually when we are dealing with the web servers, okay, we will get a lot of issues. For example, your Apache is not coming, or user is asking to install the your web server. So how, what is a web server? Web server is nothing but one of the domain. For example, www.icsa.com, www.google.com. User he want to use particular domain for his business. Our requirement is that from the server level we need to deploy the virtual host. Virtual host is nothing but it is a kind of the mechanism of web server. That web server we need to be established into the environment. How we need to do it, and what are the process, and why we need to use the server alias, and what is the mechanism, and what exactly we used to do it into the production level. Okay, each and everything we are going to discuss into the this particular topic, means how we were installing like a yum, what is a yum, okay, installing of the patches, and whether you are dealing with the CentOS or Fedora, what are the technology we use to do it, okay. Apart from that, why we need to add it to the firewall level, because some of the cases everything you performed well, but the problem is that firewall level you did not added the port. So obviously your environment won't allow you to go for the environment, nothing but it won't accept. So how you are going to define it, that is also used. And what is IP based and what is a name based? IP based and name based means, small example is that, for example, when we are browsing any kind of e-commerce websites, for example flipkart.com, amazon.com, we are going with a IP name based. For example amazon.com, it is a new human terminologies we are going. Being admin, how the guy will be going to touch him? Okay, amazon.com means like a 192.168.1.101, right? That is a way of IP based, means whether you are browsing with IP or whether you are browsing with a name, you need to get a particular website browsable. That is the way of execution, how you are going to establish it. And what are the general issues you are going to get it from the OS level, how you are going to correct it, okay. Everything we are going into the deeper level. So the subject will be, we are going to cover entire things, not only file system level, okay. Some of the portions, booting process. So booting process is a very important, because most of the issues will get coming from the booting process, how you are going to touch upon the booting process, okay. How to we can give the partitions, okay. And the process of how we can go with the process starting executing sudos, okay. How we can perform it. And the user level, how to create users, groups, directories, PAM, quotas, and everything, how we are going to perform it. And the patching mechanism, how we are going to perform the patches. So patching mechanism will come with the repo creation, usually like github, usually some sort of the repos are there, right? Like that server also, when you are going with a patching, we are going with the two types of methodologies. One is that satellite method, second thing is that direct from the local repo. How you are creating the local repo, what is the methodology of creating the local repo, okay. So what is the general process will be there, each and everything we are going into. So everything we are going with a practically, what it means, I am creating in front of you. After that we have to deal with the how we are creating the patch, and how you are creating the repo, and what are the terminologies we are using, and what is the base we are, each and everything we are going to discuss, okay. And after that, how we can perform the patching also. This patch only will help you out to perform it into the other things, okay. So these are the general ways we are going into the deeper, okay. And we are touching upon DNS, FTP, NFS, Samba. These services also we are going to be cover it up, including the SendMail, Apache, Squid also, okay.
Okay.
Any doubts?
No doubts, actually.
Okay. So the thing is that more of practical based only, not a only the command based. Okay. If small example, if you want to tell it, mean if you want to reboot any server, okay, the way of methodology what we are using into the production environment. I always consider the production, because ultimately we need to work into the production only, right? Customer point of view. Okay. So if
Yeah.
generally how the people will explain, okay, we are using the reboot or shutdown -r command or reset command, that's fine. But as a process wise is a totally different. The process wise is that which environment you are looking for, and before rebooting how you are going to perform it, and what is the approval you are going to get it. And after that, after reboot, usually when you're going for the reboot, always sometimes some issue servers we used to take the some backup also, like fs tab, those, because after reboot any one of the file system, it is not a part of that, means you may lose the your server connectivity also, okay. That is also we are going to discuss. And after that, if server is not coming up, usually fork error, emergency mode, or any file system is corrupt, how you are going to break fix the things. Second thing is that if you forgot a root password, how to reset the things. If the user is not able to log into the server, how you are going to validate the things. So user is not able to log means it doesn't mean that server is down. Probably user level he is not able to have the password issues, password expire, or maybe the shell whatever he is assigned to be, maybe he is not having the authorized access. We are going to collect the information and what are the commands we are using, like a chase command, some of the commands how we are using, and how you are dealing with that one. Everything, we are going into the practical based only. For example, so what are the commands we used to use it, the purpose of the commands, and the change group. Okay, and there is some set of the command ACL. Set FACL, get FACL is one of the basic thing we are performing with the application teams, because the application team will be performing on some set of the groups. Some set of the people only they are looking for the access of read access, write access, or some set of the groups. In the time how you are providing. Okay, so that is the normal way, and SGAD how you are providing. Okay, and access level like a chmod command how you are giving the read and write and execution operations. Okay, everything we are going with see every document, every scenario we are discussing about the topic plus interview questions and the scenarios, everything will be discussed. It's not about the only the topic, the technical part, technical and functional part both together we are going to discuss it. Okay,
Okay.
so that is what the course about.
Okay. Fine. And also, I am planning to do a certification.
Yeah, certification. See, I preferably I'm giving my suggestion. Red Hat certification, if you want to perform, means yeah, these are the primaries. Maybe you can complete the thing, and meanwhile you can go prepare for the certification. Okay, because
Mm.
Red Hat certification, one of the major challenging is that okay, we have a less atoms usually RHCE, RHCSA. These are the two certification you need to complete. RHCE is nothing but basically the basic fundamental. RHCSA is nothing but somewhat advanced. I think but NFS, Samba, everything will come into the picture. Usually, two level of approaches will be there. Nothing but two attempts you need to complete. You have to be create a server. You have to answer every questions. I will help you out about the dumps and all.
Mm.
But my suggestion is that first you learn the subject, then you can go for the certification. Okay, because the thing is that there we don't have the methodology of checkbox time. Everything you need to complete, and the invigilator will come and ask you that reboot your server
Mm.
or the laptop or something. If you reboot the server, your server is not coming up means he will place you 0 marks. We don't have any question to ask anything. So that is the reason more of practice. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Coming to the document side and whatever the things are, everything I can help you out. But the thing is that coming to the subject wise, my suggestion is that because with my experience, I'm saying, okay. So
Mm.
this is generally used to go based on
So,
your well and wish. Yeah.
so fine. So yeah, okay. Yeah, so I'm now presently my company they use Ubuntu 24.4 version.
Mm-hmm. Or you people are using the Ubuntu, right?
Yeah.
That is the same methodology. See, everything will come into the. See, for example, I will show you the one of the Ubuntu. Okay, it's my production servers.
Mm.
Okay, let me come up with you.
You working in which company?
I'm working in Kindle.
Sorry.
Kindle.
Kindle. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, this is a Ubuntu server.
Mm-hmm.
The mechanism is same. Both our mechanism is very same, quite same. Okay, Linux and Ubuntu, Fedora, CentOS. The little bit of the changes will be there means here we are using the kind of the mechanism Apache. There we are using HTTP. Small
Mm.
conventions only different, but the operating system level, base level, everything is the same only. Okay.
Okay.
So some of the companies people are using Ubuntu, some of the people are using Fedora, or
Mm.
into OS. But the mechanism of operating system side, everything is quite same. Here, whatever the commands you are using, there also it will be used. Okay.
Okay.
Sometimes little bit of changes means you need to readjust the command. That's it. The
Yes.
purpose is quite same. For example, here if you using the LVS, okay, you will get something. Okay, some of like CentOS and all, we will using the LV display.
Mm.
Okay, so the purpose based on the operating system, okay, small things will differ, except that everything is a quite same. And moreover, what is exactly your preferable timings and how?
Actually, see, bro, actually mine is like 24.7 or 7. So
Okay,
this month I'll be in the afternoon shift. So morning time I'm available.
okay. So what is a mode actually online or something?
Sorry, I'm not getting. What do you say?
Mode of connectivity, nothing but training. You are looking offline mode or online mode also okay for you?
I'm looking for offline only.
Okay, you are looking for offline only. Okay, okay,
Mm.
okay, okay.
Okay.
Just yeah.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you. Just go through it. Okay.
Yeah.
If anything, just
This is the recording session, no? I can get the recording session, right?
Okay.
no, I think I'm not recorded.
I think someone recorded. I think.
No, no, I think
Lavanya.
they are. Yeah, I think they are recorded. They will share you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay then. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Yeah. Thank you, bro.
Bye bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
That's my son.
Yeah. Bye bye.